Hey everybody, welcome to Southern gmoregals. I'm Elizabeth, and in my video today we've got two awesome Valentine wreaths for you. We have a Farmtruck Wreath and a Rustic Wreath. These are both beautiful wreaths and they're inexpensive to make. So I'm starting with my Rustic Wreath, and this is a wreath that I'm just recycling or going to reuse that I have. This was one I had for the 4th of July, and I'm just going to take all of this floral items off of here. I think this is about an 18-inch grapevine wreath. I was shopping at the thrift store and at Goodwill, and I was really disappointed that the wreath forms that they had were so expensive. They had them priced as a new price that you could go buy a new one in the store, so I really didn't understand that. But moving on. I did find these beautiful flowers, or these beautiful, look like dried roses, at the thrift store, and they were 50 cents a piece. I thought they were really pretty, and I really loved the colors. It's kind of a really soft, almost a purple and a deeper color in the center. And then I purchased these at Walmart, and I think these were about $3.50, and it's a nice big bundle here. And I thought they matched well with the roses or the flowers that I found at the thrift store. I'm going to use this love sign from the Dollar Tree, and to fill in these holes here, I'm just going to glue some cardboard to the back here with my glue gun, and then when I turn it over, I'm just going to fill that in. It's filled in really good, so we're just going to paint over this, and I'm actually going to use a nail polish on this. I didn't have a paint color. I couldn't get them to match up good. I bought this pink color there, you'll see on the left here in a minute, and I was going to mix some purple in it, but I just couldn't get it quite the right color, so I ended up using a nail polish on the love sign. And then I found that little raffia right there in the center. I found that at the thrift store, and it was only 10 cents, and it really matches the center of those roses almost perfect. And I got my inspiration for this wreath. I saw something really similar online that was really expensive, so I wanted to try to redo it myself with the, on a budget or a much cheaper price. And I really think I achieved that effect. I'm using these little clear small zip ties to attach all my floral items here. I just flipped my wreath over from, because I had some red paint on the other side, but I'm going to attach my sign. I originally attached it a little bit lower here, you'll see in the video, so I clipped this off and put it a little bit higher up after I started adding my floral pieces. It was a little bit too low, so you'll see me attach it here, but when I redo it, I'm doing the same process. I'm just putting it on with the zip tie, getting it really tight in place, and you'll want to be sure you spin the little hook around to the back of it so you won't see it. And then I'm going to take some of the nail polish and just paint over the zip tie to try to blend that in. And for me, saving money is the name of the game here. I have 3 kids, I work, my husband works, and there's no way I would pay $75 or even $55 for a wreath that I can make myself. And most of the time you can make them on your own between $10 and $20, maybe even cheaper if you have some other things in your stash or in your stock there at home. So, if you see wreaths that you like that are really expensive, you definitely try to remake them on your own. You'll feel great saving all the money and being able to recreate something that you really like to put, on your door or in your home. So what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of placing the flowers around where I want them. I'm going to use a little zip tie here to attach these. I'm going to put 2 of these large flowers kind of towards the left, and then I'm going to move one a little bit down lower, and then we'll fill in with the little white flowers. And I was kind of going for a little cluster here, a little clump of the little white flowers down here. So I'm just kind of moving these around, deciding where I want to put these. And once I get them in place, I'm just using that little zip tie there to tighten them on. And they work great to hold things in place, especially if you have, a lot of rain or wind, or you're putting this outside and you want to be sure that things aren't moving around. You can also glue these in place, or you could use wire, whichever one you prefer. I think the zip ties work really well with my hands. Sometimes getting the wire in there, it tends to poke you sometimes putting it through there, and then sometimes it's hard to twist it and get it tight and have things exactly in the place that you want it. But I think with using the zip ties, you really are able to do that and get things tight and right where you want them. And the other floral pieces that I'm putting in here are just things that I have from Walmart that were 97-cent pieces, or from the Dollar Tree. I think that eucalyptus right there, that came from Walmart, I believe. And then there's a little piece of boxwood that I was using from Walmart. I also got the lamb's ear from Walmart, and these are some that I actually had left from Easter. I had a lot of that lamb's ear, so I'm using that. But you can find that at Walmart. Sometimes they'll have a couple little smaller pieces of the lamb's ear, or they usually have a bunch that's like $3.50 with a couple big pieces of that. And I'm just working my way around or down here. I'm going to put, this is the third rose that I found at the thrift store. I only have 3 of these. So I'm going to put this one down on the bottom. I did pull those big leaves off of there. I didn't like the way that I didn't like the way that those looked on there. So I'm just going to slide this down here, use a zip tie again, get that in place. And these little white flowers, the little light pink flowers from Walmart are so pretty. They're really soft looking, really delicate, but very pretty and elegant looking too. So I think they really coordinate good with the bigger roses that I found from the thrift store. And here's a little cluster I put down at the bottom. I didn't show myself attaching these just to try to move along. I think you kind of understand the process I'm doing here. I'm just using those little ties there and I'm tying everything on. Then I'm going to go back and put a couple pieces of lamb's ear and just try to fill in where those gaps are. I still have a couple of the white flowers left, so I'm going to use all of them on my wreath. And that right there is a little bit bigger. I had a couple pieces of eucalyptus from Walmart, little larger pieces or those darker pieces. I had those left from an Easter DIY that I had. So I only had 2 pieces of that left. So I did put those in here too. And, step back from your wreath and, hang it up or put it up and kind of see the balance there and make sure everything's looking kind of even. You may have to adjust things and move things around, but I'm going to take some of this raffia that I found, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a piece off and then just open it up here, and then I'm going to trim some little slices here or make some little shredded pieces here, and I'm going to twist those together a little bit and glue these around in my wreath. And I did use my glue gun for these. I glued these in place. Just I thought they would stay a little bit better with the glue gun than trying to twist those on with the zip ties or with wire. And when I hung my wreath up for the first time, I noticed that on the left side here, I didn't have my floral items going up high enough. So you want those just to extend a little bit above the love sign on the left, just so it's a little bit higher. I thought that made it look a little bit more balanced. So right here, I'm actually going to go back and add a couple more of the lamb's ear on top and just extend it a little bit taller on that left side just to try to balance that out or make it look a little bit more even on that side. So this is really simple and easy. No sense to spend $75 for the slinger to make something like this. So I hope I inspired you to make your own wreaths, or at least try to make a wreath and see how it turns out. And you can get a lot of these things from the Dollar Tree or from Walmart. You may even catch a sale at like Hobby Lobby. So here I was just trying to show you how I went up a little bit higher there on the left from the previous, just to show you I went up just a little bit higher there so you can kind of see. And then I just kind of intermingled there all the little raffia pieces. Really pretty, very elegant. This is going to go on my front door after I take my winter wreath down. And then the next wreath, the little Farmtruck Wreath, I'm going to put that on my carport door. Really pretty. The nail polish there, you can see it really hides in or blends in once you step back here and you really can't tell. But those get those, that will hold that love sign in place good there for you. Let me know what you think about this one. I wanted to give a little plug in too about our third Thursday thrift flips is going to be January the 20th. So if you like thrift flips, join us on the 20th. And also, you can follow us, Southern gmoregals, on Instagram and Facebook, and definitely hit that red subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. And if you're already a subscriber, I want to say thank you so much. I really appreciate your support. And leave me a comment. I always try to respond to any comments that I receive, even though it might take me a couple days. Now for my Farmtruck Wreath, I have to say that this is one of my first mesh wreaths that I've ever made. I love making wreaths, but I've not tried to make a mesh one before. So I was really excited to try this on my own. And the wreath form I have is from the Dollar Tree, and you can get the pipe cleaners here from the Dollar Tree too. And all you're going to do is twist these in place. I did cut the pipe cleaners in half because they're too long. You won't need them, as long as they are. You'll need to cut those down a little bit. And it really doesn't matter about the color because we're going to fill this in really good so you won't see the different colors through here. I'm just using a little index card to try to help with my spacing, so I try to get this even. I got off just a little bit, I noticed, as I worked around. So that's something I hope I'll improve on with making more mesh wreaths. I really like the way this turned out, and it's really simple. They're really simple to make, so definitely don't go out and pay a high price for a wreath that you can make on your own. And everything on this wreath here, the Farmtruck Wreath, came from the Dollar Tree. So they have this beautiful, like a hot pink or kind of like I would call a fuchsia pink color. It's really pretty at the Dollar Tree. So I'm using 2 of those just to make it look a little bit more solid because it's really thin. So I'm going to put 2 of these together, and then I'm just going to scrunch it up here. It's a little bit hard to see right here, but you'll see as I go around. And I'm just going to twist it in the pipe cleaner here to get started. And then I'm just going to work my way around, and I'm going to go all the way around the middle with both of these together, kind of like a 2-ply or 2 sheets of this together, and just twist good here in the middle. And then we're going to go around it again. So it's going to have 2 layers of this on here. So this is after I went around it one time, and you can see it's really kind of sparse looking. It needs something else on here. So now I'm just going to take some more of the pipe cleaners and put these on the inside rings here. And I'm trying to space these in between where the other pipe cleaners were at. So this one is kind of in between the 2 that were already on the outside. I'm just going to twist these in place, and then we're going to take that ribbon and I'm going to go around. I'm going to follow that same process again. And here's my wreath after I went around it twice, and you'll have enough ribbon with 2 of those rolls to go around it 2 times. I left the top part here. You can see those little longer pieces there that are hanging. That was kind of what was left, and I'm just going to leave that there where I'm going to put the bow. So that's going to be the top of my wreath. Next, what I'm going to do is those pieces or the pipe cleaners that were in the middle, I just kind of twisted those around to the side, and I'm going to go around now with some burlap ribbon from the Dollar Tree. So this one is going to be kind of around the outside edge of the wreath. And it'll take about a whole roll of this ribbon from the Dollar Tree, this burlap ribbon, to go around just the outside. So you'll want to be sure you purchase at least 2 rolls of the burlap. And then I have some burlap pink ribbon that I'm going to use too. So you'll need at least 2 rolls of that ribbon. If you want a larger bow than I made, then you may want to purchase an additional roll. So this is the pink. And what I'm going to do with the pink is where you can still see those pipe cleaners, I want to fill that in a little bit more. So I'm just attaching to that inside pipe cleaner that's holding the mesh ribbon there. And then we're going to go kind of diagonal or across the wreath. And I'm just going to put a little twist in my ribbon and then attach it to the outside. So it kind of twists across there to fill it in and give it, cover up all those pipe cleaners and just fill in a little bit more. When I originally started, I was just going to do the pink all the way around, and then I realized I didn't have enough ribbon probably just to do the pink, and I wanted to tie in the burlap too. So I'm going to do a row of pink, and then I'm going to do a row of pink and burlap. I'm going to kind of alternate, but I'm doing the same process, just twisting it across here. And this is really simple to do. I hope this doesn't intimidate you at all. But, this was the first time I did a mesh wreath. It's really easy. I think it's really fun to work with because you can kind of tell really easily, where it needs to be filled in at. And that's where you got to go. That's kind of where you got to concentrate and put you some more ribbon there or move things around to fill it in better. So once I go all the way around here, this is after I finish putting all the mesh and on all the burlap ribbon on here. Next, I'm going to attach my farm truck here. And this was, it came from a Dollar Tree. It's like a little garden stake here. And at first I just clipped that off, and that's what I was going to attach it with the zip tie, was a little black piece here. And you can use that. But after I had cut this off, I realized that this has a little hook on the back. So I'm going to use that. I'm also going to use one of these metal hearts from the Dollar Tree. And it also has this awesome little hook here on the back too. So you can take a zip tie here. It'll fit right in the back of that wreath. I actually used one of these hearts on a Christmas DIY, and that little hook there, let me tell you, it's not the easiest thing to get off there, so it will definitely stay in place to hold your the hold here on the wreath. So I just put my zip tie through that little hook there, and then we're going to zip it onto my wreath. You would think those little hooks and things are kind of like little flimsy and won't hold very well, but you try to cut one of those or pull one of those off of there. It's not the easiest thing to do. So they work really good to for a little hanger here or to zip that on here. And this is the little hook I discovered on the truck. It just has a little bend there in the metal, so that's what I'm going to attach my truck with instead of that little black piece. Now, you could use both, but I actually went back and cut that off of there, the little garden stake part, and I just used the hook there on it. I made 2 bows there, with one with the burlap color and then one with the pink burlap. I did the pink first and attached it with just some floral wire, and then I made a little small one out of the brown and put that on the top. So the little beaded garland came from the Dollar Tree too. I just twisted a couple little pieces together and glued that on with my glue gun. And here's my final reveal. And doesn't this look so cute? I think this is the sweetest little thing, and it just screams Valentine's Day, I think here. But it has a little bit of a rustic look too, with the metal and the burlap and that little farm truck here. Really sweet look. It's lightweight too, so it's not real heavy. You could put this inside or outside. Definitely something that's really affordable. I did use my glue gun to glue the truck to the heart there in the front. I did, use the zip tie to zip it on the back part, but then I did glue it to the heart too, just to make sure it stays in place there good. Let me know what you think about my first mesh wreath here, and give me a thumbs up, hopefully. And thanks everybody for watching. Hope y'all have a great Valentine.